I would say it's going to be a bloody game, but who am I to say it at the moment?
We shall see. We shall see. All I'm gonna say is I'm looking forward to Mess or Impress because
You have some feelings on that.
LJL drafting is gonna get roasted. That's all I'm saying. But moving into the actual game, we got Bernico, we got Detonation FocusMe, and I'm excited to see what these guys are gonna bring to the Rift. We have the classic,
The
5 teleports in a single game. So we will.
Man.
I mean, it is sort of a standard thing, though, where Ezreals will like to take the teleport, with the idea being, oh, I farmed to 700 gold, I base, I buy Sheen, I TP back, and now I just have advantage over everyone. However, on the flip side, Udapon has that Ghost. I don't think anyone can touch this Jinx if positioned properly, so I am very, very concerned for the side of Burning Core as to how they're going to actually find backline access now onto this Jinx TK.
Yeah, I was actually going to highlight that. The fact that he took the Ghost over the heal means that Udapon is going to have some fancy footwork throughout all of these fights. And you see the runes popping up for everybody. It is Guardian Rakan and First Strike Ezreal for Yuhi and Fujimoto on the side of Burning Core. So playing this early game, recollect, like, what objectively will Burning Core have to do to even try to give themselves any sort of chance in this matchup? Because you have to assume have flawless early gank Yaharong in this mid lane, and with Dice, just leave the top lane to its own devices.
So I'm actually of the opposite opinion. I think that it would be better for them to go towards the top side, and the idea being is that if you do enter a team fighting scenario, I think it's very hard to kill Udapon, right? So my thought is that the best thing you can do is get that winning top side, as the Fiora does pretty well outscale the Gwen in the side lane if played properly. And then you just have a consistent amount of wave clear from Victor Ezreal, which makes it so hard to actually do anything. Unless DFM obviously have neutral objectives or take Baron. So in sort of a neutral game state where nothing is happening, Rayfaki just splits the knight away. You have no way to actually engage onto Dice Yuhi. However, that might have been an attempt there from Harp. Nice level 2 hit attempted, but doesn't actually get anything too much right. But yeah, I think going topside is an option, provided the lane state is proper. And I think that might be why we're seeing Steel here do this sort of adjusted clear of the bottom 2 camps into top 2 camps to try to maybe cover that one.
Yeah, okay, I definitely see the reasoning. It could be very much that. And also, Rayfaki, interesting. So we noted that Udapon took Ghost Flash, but Rayfaki took TP Ghost. So that's showing that he is going to be quite the aggressor when it does come to these fights. Be able to stick on to Gwen. She's immune unless you're inside her bubble. So of all the champions to get inside somebody's close personal space, Fiora, she likes to smack people right up in the muff. So we'll have to keep an eye up on that top lane matchup. And it is the battle of these two teams looking to solidify their space in these standings. And Flawless might get caught out here. Bubble, forcing the flash this early. Good timing from Yaharong to get on that.
There's a lot of meaning for Vi ganks early as well, because Vi is a champion who gets an incredible amount of value from her flash with things like Q Flash as a trading tool, where obviously you trade flashes for theirs, and then it's winnable on the second gank. So especially as you say into this fairly immobile set of things like the Zoe, things like this, obviously bot side too. So to have that one blown kind of hurts, especially given the fact that a lot of these lanes don't have their own setup. So it doesn't seem massive, but that's going to really impact the next couple of minutes in this game before Vi does hit level 6. So Flawless now not likely to be able to find anything, which is quite punishing because look at his camps. There's nothing for the jungler to clear now. So you kind of want to be ganking, you want to be around this area, but already the top side is lit up like a Christmas tree on the 24th. So I don't know how Flawless is going to find some sort of angle to gank anyone when you're permanently being sort of acknowledged now by all this vision.
Yeah, it's the Steel diff, just being all in the blue side, absolutely getting as much vision down as he can. As you just see Flawless going to do some clearing and just paying a visit over there to the top side and making sure we know we didn't forget about him. But yeah, I just really have like the pathing that Steel has done, the answering he's been able to do up against Flawless, and hoping to see them keep that up as we are looking at a pretty neutral map state right now. it's not a lot going on here these first 5 minutes. Is Dice actually, you're out of mana, my guy, and Steel is on. Gravity Field is down to slow and stun. Yaharong looking in. Flash forward, chomp. Dice had the ability to get out there, I believe, but Steel just going to go ahead and take that first blood for himself.
Yeah, Dice kind of greedy there, was aiming to just shove the wave so they could base teleport back with Lost Chapter, but doesn't end up blowing the flash to get the escape option there. Instead, just ends up sort of dying, so Dice going to give away that first blood, and it won't matter too much, I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, but definitely not an ideal one to give over.
Yeah, so we go into this replay here. You see Steel. He has all his eyes on the prize, so communicating that TP in from Yaharong. They're like, yeah, we're going to take this. Got a Shirelia's proc, so that's dope for Yaharong as it goes in. It's the bubble for some extra damage. But yeah, like I said, definitely had the reins to be able to maybe flash after Steel's flash, but decides to keep it and just TP back to lane, take his L.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one there from Dice. Obviously, he's going to at least have that now to escape for the next one. But there's not amazing logic to run on that set. So it is the power of Trundle Pillar, though, is the fact that you can obviously just force flashes with it, because there isn't a whole lot of counterplay to it. I like that ultimate usage there, by the way, in the mid lane from Dice. You don't really get kill threat into Zoe anyway, but by chunking, you can now threaten her with large amounts of poke, and obviously no teleport available for Yaharong, so it does now make the lane a lot harder to pilot, so it's definitely worth doing. As Steel might be looking topside onto Rayfarki. It's a huge wave the Fiora would lose.
Yeah, that's a big wave crashing in should this gank go their way. And now Steel's just he's gonna hover around for just a moment, I believe. Yeah, finishes the back, and they're gonna allow Rayfarki to pick up as much farm in this as he can. So it's a good day to be a Fiora. It's only about 10 CS down. The deficits are coming across the board in different areas, so it's not like it's a small gold lead for DFM right now, but it's not like anything that literally can't be brought back in the next few moments. Herald spawning in about 35 seconds. Cloud Drake is going to be the first one on the menu that is live, I believe. Yes, that is. So solid game state right now. 7 minutes here into this game, and I would like to see Flawless be moving around the map more, my guy, but we can only ask for so much right now.
The only thing about this game state that I think is a little bit interesting is the fact that Flawless isn't necessarily very strong, but every other member across the board is arguably stronger on their current items than their opposition. I mean, the Ezreal is definitely going to be hitting harder than the Cull by Jinx is going to. However, Steel can help to adjust that sort of power difference here in the bottom side.
Okay, so they do get the Arcane Shift out from Yuhi. It's going to be very difficult for Steel to get anything done in that bot lane with how slippery you have the Ezreal and the Rakan. As we do see Flawless attempting to start up on Herald. But y'all was like, hey, buddy, remember me? Remember how you had to blow Flash? It's going to dissuade him off of that as we do have to rotate up. So yeah, DFM playing the denial game all across the map. As Steel is here now, just do a little bit of damage onto Flawless, and just straight bullying. DFM are playing the bully game real hard right now. We have Harp roamed up here as well, as they're playing a little bit of a Herald dance.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why Trundle is good into the Vi as well, is you just win in isolation, because you can just ult the Vi and then just sort of chomp on her with his lethal tempo and just slap her around. So Steel showing the dominance that this champion can provide, but look at the CS department. Has been going for those ganks, hasn't been finding them. And it's allowed Flawless to come into this one. Flawless.
Okay. Steel does pop the ultimate. Decides to go in anyway. It's a 3v3 situation. Oh my goodness. Hart managing to get Steel out of that. Rocket comes from downtown. The kill coming out first for DFM. That's a fight that Burning Core tried to start, and I don't think they actually really were able to commit to it, all things considered. Is that's just going to go DFM's way. You evidently see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weird one where you have to think about it. Harp always has that Devour available, so even if you do get onto the Trundle, it's never really one-shottable. And with those stats being denied as well and sort of taken away, it's really hard to do much. If you're going to go for this play at all, you definitely have to wait out the Trundle ulti, which isn't something that Burning Core really did. Instead, just sort of got popped, the Devour came through, and it's just too much. I mean, just look at this one. It's a little bit on the greedier side, shall we say, here from the side of Burning Core.
Yeah, as we do cut the replay short, going back to live. It's a battle in the bot lane, hoping to see Harp get out alive. And yes, the Abyssal Dive will get him to safety as a gank attempt dissuaded, and Burning Core really just grasping for straws at this point, trying to make something happen across the map as they are 1,000 behind. And it's really not looking good here in this early game as this interesting composition from DFM is just denying them at almost every angle. It's just so wondering what's racking in the mind of these Burning Core players.
I feel like Burning Core are a little bit overforcing, shall we say? They don't necessarily need to be super ahead with the champions they have. I mean, Ezreal is going to be spiking really hard on 2 items. It does look like the Triforce is going to be the build of choice here. But, you know, assuming you get that one, you get yourself that Muramana sort of fully stacked up, and then you're feeling pretty good on that. And everyone else is going to be obviously scaling up to about sort of 3 items with the Victor, 2.5 to 3 items with the Fiora, 2 on the Vi. You feel really good around that time. So you don't necessarily need to be picking too many fights right now. It's fine to sort of wait it out. The issue is, obviously, now that the Herald has gone over, one more solid play from Steel, and the game just blows wide open because the goal advantage just snowballs.
I would say that indeed, as you see Harp waiting in the wings in the bushes, looking for a gank attempt. Gets the tongue lashing, walks straight up to Yuhi, forces the arcane shift out. Sneaky catfish he is. They're going to press on to Fujimoto because Steel is in the area. Abyssal Dive, once again, dodged out. Very slippery. Does throw the exhaust down onto Yuhi, knowing that cooldown is there. Will force him to put on his blue suede shoes and dance around as he does throw out the ultimate. But once again, Steel just does so much damage. This Trundle making so much work happen for DFM early in this game is woo-wee. RayFarky getting chunked low. Look at the low health bars all across the board for Burning Core, all across the map. This isn't like a team fight. This is just spread out all across the map. All of them are getting beaten in so many areas. It's just DFM exerting their pressure.
Yeah, but the biggest problem of those low health bars is RayFarky here, because look, there's no teleport available on the Fiora. Trundle goes topside, threatens the dive, means that you have to back off, you lose 2 plates, and remember, there was that one play you needed to make sure that you could drop Herald for that gold. Well, you can just do that here in the topside if you want, and suddenly the Fiora side lane split push condition starts to fall apart because you just don't have the money to make it possible. And even though Flawless is here, I don't know if you can turn this one.
They're committing a lot to it, and the health bars are relatively low for them to even go for this fight. Steel is backing off, waiting for Harp to come into the wings. They're diving onto Evie, trying to get this kill there, but Harp is there to save the day. Abyssal Dive comes in with the massive shield coming out from the Swallow as well. Ignite is down. RayFarky trying to make something happen. Look how low they are. Can Dice get a kill back? He will manage to get one in return with the extra damage from the empowered auto, and now Dice trying to save the day, trying to burn down Harp as well. Just waiting the rest of the dive. Evie and Harp running for their lives. The massive damage from the back 2 of the laser will give him another one. Dice putting on his hero cloak to make something happen, managing to pick up 2 for 1 in that scenario and saving the tower in that instance.
Yeah, and it also means that the Victor passive is going to sort of come into effect as well, right? You get yourself those extra stacks towards your hex core, so you can get that Q evolve a little bit faster. So nice stuff there for Dice. And you know, if there was ever a member that you wanted at least to be fed, obviously you would have preferred the Fiora, but
flashing in Chaos Storm, baby! Dice making it work, staying in. Okay, I mean, hey, that's more progressive toward that passive as we were talking about.
Perhaps Victor is short for victory, because that's what Burning Core's win condition is starting to turn into here. As Dice now 3-1 on the Victor, feeling pretty confident, shall we say, on that one. And obviously, whilst that's happening, you're still getting the farming here on the bottom side for Yuhi. Plus, I would be interested to see sort of how much money has been made from the 2 first strike users. As you are down still 2k, but I imagine that money has helped to placate the pockets a little bit of Burning Core to even that one out a little bit. As well, just looking for a gank window here onto Harp, maybe.
Yeah, they're looking for it, and you already see that Yuhi does have that Triforce ready, so his damage is pretty optimal right now. Throws out the 2-shot barrage. Harp, man, they set up the net, and the catfish fell right into it. I guess we're having some fillets for dinner, as they're going to go ahead and take that kill, give it to Yuhi on this Ezreal. You know, another really big damage point, focal point for this team, as he is starting to get those items coming in. Has the Triforce already, looking to build towards that Muramana. gonna try and get a little bit of damage on this tower. Wait, guys, no, you can't do this. Hello?
That's
hey, they're doing it.
toxic.
There's no way. Oh, there's no way. Flashes are burned every which way. The charm. They're gonna put him in the ground. They say no dragon, no problem. They're just gonna completely go for it. But on the flip side, Steel will go ahead and take that Cloud Drake for themselves.
that's so toxic.
Oh my god.
That's so messed up. Oh, that's
I think they're trying to replicate that in the mid lane. He got tagged with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble in the back end of that. The Ignite is down. Can he get the kill back? No! Hearth gets the shield off with the Devour. With the Devour coming out, just barely surviving that.
Rocket
is coming down. Oh no! Oh no! Whew. Dice has just enough time to get out of the way of that. But what an interesting series of events that just happened there, Recollect, with Burning Core.
I mean, the funny thing is that the kill onto Harp, I was going to say, is it was so easy for the side of Burning Core. They didn't actually blow anything of any value. If the worst cooldown you're blowing for a gank is True Shot Barrage, I think you're doing pretty well for it. They had ultis, they had flashes still up, they had Ignite up as well. So there was no risk to anything. And obviously then, Udapon thinks they're safe at their turret, but unfortunately you're an AD carry at 15 to 16 minutes into the game, and there is a Vi, and there is 3 people, so you're gonna just get one-tapped. Also, just getting one-tapped, Steel's here.
Oh man, yeah, he's gonna bonk Flawless away, and there's just no objective control for the side of Burning Core because Steel was able to get that early advantage, and because Steel was able to make things happen on the map for himself. He's just so strong, and also just the inherent matchup against Flawless on this Vias. They're still trying to fight for this. We're gonna reset the aggro here, so no Herald dropping now. Steel's still waiting in the wings, and yeah, Dice is gonna go reset as he does get engaged on, but he's gonna be fine. Dice is chilling. He got the early Merc treads here, so definitely has a little bit better time dealing with this Zeri CC, and also the CC coming out from Steel as well, as they're gonna go ahead and try and take this Herald. he's like, I just delaying it a little bit.
Yeah, just delaying a little bit, not so much delaying. No one's really sort of delaying their itemization. They've all got themselves at least item number 1, and this is relatively, I'd say, fine for the side of DFM. I mean, they obviously spike pretty hard on that one item with their Zoe, with their Gwen to an extent. Obviously, spikes a lot better on 2, but 1 is still not bad. However, that Divine Sundra for Rayfarki now means the lane is pretty much fine. There's no real kill threat now for Evie unless sort of mistakes are made in the top side. As whilst Gwen does have a lot of damage with that rank 2 ulti and Ignite, the sustain and healing shouldn't let you low enough to get into the kill range of that sort of combo. So we will see, obviously, if any errors are made here from the side of Rayfarki. But whilst they are down sort of 15 to 20 CS right now, considering how much attention sort of was put into that top side from both junglers, it's not actually too bad. You're doing fine enough, and with this sort of bottom lane starting to do well, obviously Dice having a great game too, it feels like Burning Core are actually relatively where they want to be in terms of this game state.
Yeah, noting the CS differences be damned, they are playing to their best ability at the moment. Hoping to get something happen as Flawless is going to take the Q and burn the ultimate into the Chaos Storm Gravity Well formation, but it's not enough damage because the stopwatch is going to stop it. As Flawless managing to survive somehow, dodging out on the zap from Udapon, and that's going to be a tower. Was that first tower? Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah. So whilst Udapon does get there to Udapon gets there to defend and help out on the play, but it means that you're not bot lane wave clearing. That means that the Ezreal can get them first tower, and this is an interesting sort of debate now. Is it worth to get bot tower for first turret, or is it more worth to get mid tower for second turret? I mean, obviously in the entire play, you're happier to get the red side because you get 2 turrets out of it instead of just the 1. Personally, I actually prefer getting the mid tower second because I think that it makes getting that bottom turret so much easier and setting up for dragons and obviously the Baron later. And it also means that Yuhi has a much harder time now stepping up, right? Because whilst you are the Ezreal and you are very safe, you don't have a turret to rely on. You don't have anything particularly amazing, which means that whilst Udapon has been struggling to get the push so far in this lane, it's now much easier due to that inherent risk of Yuhi stepping up.
Right, exactly. And this is a very solid state now. Here we are approaching the 20-minute mark in this game 4, and Burning Core have I guess, made this state relatively even. Mountain Drake spawning here in a few moments, and so is Baron. But I feel like they are at the items. Yeah, like we were talking about the spikes for Dice. He's sitting on 2 items. He went Shadow Flame second. So the man is in a pretty nifty spot as they're setting up this bush for a potential dive or gank right now. Oh, he's charged in the fist. And Pesky control ward gonna spot him out as now they're getting chunked out as Yaharong with that long range Zoe poke. Just it's jogging for position right now as they are positioning around this Baron. They don't have a tier 1 tower to dissuade the dive as DFM going to make the choice. So they're just going to go for this tower as Unipon. Look how fast it's going, and there's nothing Burning Core is going to do about it. Looking to go onto Yaharong, who does bring the flash to get a little bit of distance. True Shot Barrage goes across 2, does a lot of damage, but they're just playing a wild goose chase right now, funneling it into the blue side jungle where Harp can go in. There is Fujimoto on the back. Gets a nice 4-man charm, but unfortunately the rest of the team is not there to follow the damage as they are split all across the map. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes on to Dice, who gets shut down as we have Flawless jumping in as well to his death, and that's 3 for the back of Unipod. They just turn it on their head and gets himself a triple kill, 3 for none. That's a tower, and they're going straight for the Baron as well. Recollect, what the hell?
Broken control strikes again there for the side of Burning Core. It's a little bit of a confusing one. It feels like they didn't realize that there was the option of just pushing mid lane. So they give up the turret, and then obviously because they've lost something, they immediately default to the thought process of, well, we got to get something for this, and then they start trickling in one after another. The issue here is just look at the wave. There's nothing that really been done here. DFM are just stalling, and because of this, you go in, but Vi is just so far ahead of everyone else. The stopwatch has to be blown to not get one shot, and Yaharong has moved out. There's already so many cooldowns being blown. You've used 2 of your ultis already, and once Fujimoto does land a multi-man charm, the knockup isn't there, and nor is the follow-up, because everyone is miles away. The pillar is doing so much work to slow. Ebby then sort of does plenty as well off the back of that needlework, and from here, it's just not playable. The damage is plentiful from the rocket. Here comes Jinx. She's got Reset City online. It's going to be a double, make it a triple go over there for Unipon. And it's just a little bit too easy there for the side of DFM off of Burning Core's mistakes.
And you'd have to say after that play, this just blows the game wide open for DFM. Burning Core were holding on, making it seem a little bit competitive with a little bit of evenness. But after that play, you zigged when you should have zagged, brother, and just completely face plants into the wall after a fail flash into the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. And yeah, DFM, we were talking about that overwhelming just pressure that just playing up against them presents, and Burning Core were doing rather well to hold up against it, but it just, you can only put so much pressure on something before it completely cracks and shatters, and that's seeming to be the case here for DFM. Is this 23-minute mark, they are just now getting into the base of Burning Core on multiple fronts.
Yeah, it's just, there's not a whole lot that you can do as Burning Core to do it, because think about your engage options. It's that Rakan who's very squishy and can just get one shot, and the same is applicable to Flawless as well. So the poke is going to come through, and whilst the wave clear isn't necessarily bad here for the side of Burning Core, that Baron buff is going to make it so much harder to actually kill these creeps, and plenty of damage can come through with those pillar setups.
Oh god, yeah, this is looking to be the final push. They're not trying to wait any longer. They know they can push up farther, and there's nothing that Burning Core can do about it. They have a few Baron minions in the bottom lane. They got a few Baron minions in the mid lane. They're going to take 1 inhibitor, make it 2. This is necessarily an end angle if they want to take it, but they're going to just grab what they want and get out. But DFM just ballooning this lead that they managed to just completely snatch from Burning Core in every conceivable way.
Yeah, so just look at the pillar here. Everyone is slowed. They get insta-hit by the Q there from the Zoe immediately. Follow-up comes through here from Ebby, and just look at the damage coming through there from this Gwen. She hits like an absolute trainer, whilst Rayfaki does try to turn that one around. It's a 1v5, and unfortunately Fiora is not that strong on one item to get away with that one.
Yeah, you're not that guy, pal. Unfortunately, not going to make that happen just yet. Maybe one more item, and that could be a different story, but you'd have to think at this moment, a Baron buff is about to time out, but DFM still has a massive amount of control across the map. There are a decent amount of wards in this blue side for Burning Core to look around until they get cleared out of the way, that is. But it's just, at this point in the game, what are the options for a Burning Core to get back into this? You know, we already talked about how their comp is not the best in terms of making stuff happen on multiple members, having to get a lot of these single targets out. As Yaharon goes fishing, woo, zigzag zoom. Fujimoto has to use multiple cooldowns just to get out of harm's way for potential one shot. And that's a tower just like that off of one little sleep. DFM managing to turn that into an objective.
So obviously, normally the argument would be, oh, we can look for a pick, but obviously DFM are very much grouped up, so it's quite hard to do that. If you are able to find anything onto Unipon on this Jinx, you can just one-shot her. The damage is there. The problem then becomes Harp, right? You need to make sure this time catch is split away from this Jinx. However, that is not the way to play it.
Fuji Flawless is just going to be absolutely taken out, rather, as we do see Evie diving over the side. Gwen is immune. She's going to be fine. And we see Harp jumping in as well, making things happen. We want him to get a pick, but not give away a life, unfortunately. The DFM just looking to make this towards the end, saying, slow pushing a wave towards this top lane. So Yuhi jumping over the side, doing as much damage as he can, doing a little dancey dance on this Ezreal. Evie, nasty boy, getting some more kills under his belt. Two-shot barrage goes off. It's just Yuhi and Fujimoto against the world. So we do have the TP coming in from DFM, looking to put the final stranglehold on this game. That timer for DICE is still considerably long. They can probably push this in and say he is one of their biggest points of wave clear. Yep, that's the base. That's the TP in from Yaharong. They're on Nexus turret number 1, and they're looking for Nexus turret number 2. Burning Core unable to do a single damn thing about it. No defense to be had, as we do have a small little fight. Flawless is here trying to get into the backline, dissuade as much time as possible. The Nexus is exposed, but that's just giving more time for Unipon to pad that KDA stat, baby. Nexus falling fast as Flight can handle, and DFM will take this win and risk nothing in the process.
It was just a